Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. On today's Trash to Treasure video, we are going to take the spindles off these old chairs and upcycle them using some Sweet Pickins milk paint, turning them into a beautiful holiday DIY. Now, if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell next to it so you don't miss any upcycles by Bree. You can find the paint products and today's flips at upcycledbybrie.com. These curbside finds were already repaired, wobbly, and just not savable, so it's time to take them apart and salvage the wood. I kept some for some projects, but I also listed a ton of spindles over in the salvaged woods collection on my site. So if you're not able to find these in your area or you're not wanting to do the work yourself, hop on over and check them out. Once I had a variety, I started laying them out, kind of forming the base of my Christmas tree. For the trunk and base of the tree, I am using this old lamp base. I have taken the top of it off and clipped the wires. I think you could also use an old piece of scrap wood and a wooden dowel to create a base as well. To make the holes in the spindles, I'm using these power wood bits. This is a 5/8 bit, and I will link something similar in my Amazon storefront below. Remember, it's all one shoppable link now. When you click that link, all of my Amazon products are separated out into easy to shop categories. On the smaller spindles, I put them in the vice grip to be able to drill down into them. That way I did not injure myself. Now I'm taking some 120 grit sandpaper on my orbital sander and just smoothing down any of the rough ends and around the holes that I drilled. Bringing the spindles back upstairs, it's time to paint. Today I'm using Sweet Pickins milk paint. I've got the color Creamy and also the color Pantry Door. I start by adding 1/4 cup of warm water into the bowl and then 1/4 cup of the powder. I'm applying the paint today with the brand new R14, which you can also find in my brush collection. You can see how well it works around the spindles. For those of you who have heard a little bit about milk paint, you might have heard about Extra Bond. It's an additive that helps your paint stick to your surface. I did not use any Extra Bond today because these wooden spindles were dry, raw wood, and I knew the paint would stick pretty well. Another great brush for the spindles is the Klingon F30. I do have it back in stock, but with the milk paint, it sticks pretty darn good. So you can just drop these Klingon brushes in water overnight. In the morning, the paint falls off. Now, DIY paint is water soluble until it's sealed. So I went ahead and grabbed my white swan and I gave the base of the lamp one coat. I'm not worried about full coverage because now I'm going to take a wet rag and wet distress those details back through. How gorgeous is this? Then I'll take it down to the garage for a quick clear coat of Rust-Oleum matte clear enamel. Back upstairs, and that first coat of milk paint is dry. I'm going to do a second coat of paint on these, but first I am taking some of the clear beeswax and applying it randomly on these spindles, just a little bit, and that's going to help provide a resist before I put on the second coat, which is going to help a little bit more chipping and cracking to happen. For coat number 2, I did mix and match the colors on a couple of these spindles to make it look like it had been painted more than once over the years. And now to get some extra chippiness, I am using my Wagner heat gun to dry the spindles up. You could also use a blow dryer or set them out in the sun. Now you don't have to do this step, but I like the extra chippiness it provides. Now I'll sand them down with a sanding pad. This is about a 220 grit, and you can see all the beautiful chippiness coming through. What do y'all think? Do you like this chippy look, or is it a little too much for you? Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you love chippy paint or not so much. Now that the spindles are all dry and sanded, I'm going back in with that same clear beeswax and giving them a nice thin coat on all the spindles. Now taking a clean rag, I will just wipe off any excess wax, and to make them just a little more antiqued, I'm going to use some of the Sweet Pickins grit. I will dip my brush into a little bit of the beeswax, into a little bit of this grit aging dust, and then rub it down into the creases of these spindles. Wipe off any extra with a rag, and you can see what a beautiful aged effect that gives. And of course, you could also use the DIY Decrepit Dusts in white or dark, or any of the pigment powders as well. Now to assemble it, I just placed the spindles down onto the base. A couple of them were a little tricky because I was a little sloppy with my milk paint, so they were a little of a tight squeeze, but I got them all on. Thought about gluing the spindle top on, but I decided not to. That way, if you wanted to take the spindles off and use them in decor, that would be an option as well. Here is a look at the final project. What do y'all think? I am completely in love and inspired to make a bunch more of these. I know it's not Christmas yet, not even close, but I wanted to give y'all an idea in case you are a maker or you need a little extra time to get your crafts done. This spindle tree is available for $34.95 over on my website. And of course, all the spindles and the paint that I used are available if you would like to make your own as well. I hope y'all were inspired. Stay tuned for Tuesday's video. I have an amazingly fun shopping trip with a friend and some thrift flips. And again, if you're new, subscribe, click that bell to all, and I will see y'all next time. Bye, friends.
What you think, Moo? There's some nice spindles? Hmm?